all the revolutionary fervor from Imran Khan's party and the movement he was leading, which was very pompously titled the Movement for Justice or Tehreek-e-Insaf, that's got punctured. The counter-revolution, something that the Pakistan Army is famous or infamous for, has started taking place. Frankly, if you look at scenes from Imran Khan's house, it seems that the man has been left desolate. He is dejected with what is happening, maybe even suffering from a bit of depression. Imran Khan has done to the Pakistan Army, divided it, politicized it, something which nobody else has done. And I don't see this being forgiven. But for the foreseeable future, I think Imran Khan is history. The Imran-ian revolution clearly is stillborn. All the revolutionary fervor from Imran Khan's party and the movement he was leading, which was very pompously titled the Movement for Justice or Tehreek-e-Insaf, that's got punctured. And it's not surprising that the revolution has died, and in a sense what has happened is a counter-revolution. Imran was of course the revolutionary or the pseudo-revolutionary, and what happened a couple of weeks back on the 9th of May, when his supporters came out onto the streets to agitate and burn down public property, to attack army installations. That was supposed to be the beginning of the true revolution, Hakiki Azadi, if you will. But all of that has come to a grinding halt because the counter-revolution, something that the Pakistan Army is famous or infamous for, has started taking place. Now, I don't know how many people remember, but way back when General Musharraf carried out his coup almost 15-16 years back in 99. At that time also, it was touted as a counter-revolution of sorts. So the counter-revolution seems to be marching ahead, and the revolution seems to be failing, and it should not be surprising because, frankly, the heartland of Pakistan, which is Punjab, is not really revolutionary ground. The soil does not behove or tolerate revolutions. And in a society and a culture in which something like the long march of Mao is also replicated in Pakistan, but in Pakistan it's not the long march of the kind that Mao did, but in Pakistan it's a long march which is either from Rawalpindi to Islamabad 30 kilometers or maximum from Lahore to Islamabad, which is roughly 300 kilometers. And this is not even a long march on feet. This is a long march in luxury Prados, Land Cruisers, Pajeros, and other fancy SUVs. So in a country like that, to expect that revolution will take place, I think is to expect the moon. Now, this is probably the first time that we've seen people who have been deeply enmeshed in the power structure of Pakistan. This is the Punjab elite, people who are connected to the army, to the bureaucracy, big landlords, businessmen, top professionals, lawyers, judges, what have you. Many of those who have spoken up against the army, who are speaking up against the army even now, although it's become a little subdued after some of them have received the treatment which the hoi polloi of Pakistan have often received, or the undesirables like the Pashtuns, the Sindhis, the Mohajirs, and of course the Baloch. What they have received at the hands of the Punjab dominated Pakistan Army and Punjabi elite, that treatment is now being meted out also to sections of the Pakistani elite or the Punjabi elite which has been revolting. Now, this is something we will have to see how it progresses going forward. Now at least it seems like the Pakistan Army is very much back in control. It has re-established its dominance on the polity pretty overwhelmingly. Everybody seems to be falling in line. Even the political parties which are currently in government are scurrying to gain the favor of the Pakistan Army and curry favor with them so as to secure their political future. The army itself, which not too long back had claimed that it was keeping a hands-off kind of an approach from politics, it was not going to interfere, is now doing two things. One is, of course, it's doing its image building. The pictures coming out of Pakistan show entire avenues and roads, main roads being plastered by these posters of generals and, trying to stir up the patriotic feeling among Pakistanis on how much the Pakistan Army is central to the existence of Pakistan. So one is that image building exercise which is going on. We've seen that in the past, thank you Raheel Sharif when Operation Zarbe was happening, when the then army chief was trying to build up his own image, either to get a extension or to generally rehabilitate the image of the Pakistan Army. But now once again, we are seeing this kind of an image building exercise and it's in an overdrive. The second part where the Pakistan Army is interfering in politics is, of course, what you might call the dismantling of Project Imran, the disintegration which is going on of Imran Khan's party Tehreek-e-Insaf, the way that the Pakistani state under the guidance of the Pakistan Army is going with a vengeance after members of the PTI. Top members have been arrested, they receive bail, they have been arrested again, like literally 4, 5 times they are being put back in the jail. The moment they step out, they are re-arrested. That's been going on. Some of the supporters of Imran Khan have quote unquote disappeared, nowhere to be found. The courts have taken cognizance, but the state of Pakistan has cocked a snook at the courts and said, we don't know where the guy is, we can't trace him. So that has started happening. So they are cracking down on the entire support base of Imran Khan. They are not bothered about who is coming within, within their grasp, whether the granddaughter of a former army chief, whether former ministers, generals and their wives, former generals and their wives, no matter, it's across the board. In a sense, there is a kind of an equality in this crackdown, because earlier the Punjabi elite was always spared the indignities that the Pakistan Army heaps upon ordinary Pakistanis, but this time they are also they're very much actually in the crosshairs. So the dismantling of the PTI is going on. In the short term, of course, the Pakistan Army has regained its primacy, its dominance. And General Asim Munir seems to have established his command over the Pakistan Army. He seems to have squashed many of the rumors of a rebellion within the Pakistan Army. But at the same time, one is hearing of some reports coming in that at least at the rank and file level, there is a lot of resentment to what has been happening. People are probably following the orders, but that does not mean that they identify with these orders which are coming to them from their superiors, or that they are doing it willingly, but they are nevertheless going ahead and establishing the authority of the army. But the long-term damage is, of course, that the core constituency of the Pakistan Army, what gave it legitimacy, what gave it, that the bulwark of the society which was backing the Pakistan Army, which always airbrushed its faults, which always painted over its mistakes and its failures, that part of the society seems to have moved away from the Pakistan Army, at least a strong section of that. Now, what is happening to the PTI is not the first time this has happened in Pakistan. Other parties have been dismantled, broken, bruised. We saw that with the PMLN, Nawaz Sharif's party, in 1999 after the coup, when Musharraf and his cabal of generals went after the Nawaz League with a vengeance. And a lot of the top leaders, a lot of the electables were weaned away from the party and corralled into what was then called the King's Party, the PMLQ or the PML Qaid-e-Azam, which was led by the Chaudhary brothers of Gujarat. So it has happened earlier, and a lot of people are expressing surprise at the speed at which the PTI has started disintegrating. But frankly, there's not much to say about the speed, because the PMLN disintegrated at the same speed. Even the PPP, which has shown itself to be far more resilient, seems to have suffered when way back in 2002 elections were held, and overnight the party was broken, and ironically a new wing of the party was created, the Pakistan People's Party Patriots, who would support the King's Party and become part of the government. So this trend is happening. But there was also the MQM, which virtually overnight the Pakistan Army and the military establishment imposed what in Pakistan is called the -1 formula, that you remove the top leader who's unacceptable, and then you try and cobble together the party back, give it some kind of a leadership, so that the party remains in the fray, but you've virtually taken its teeth out. Something similar might happen to the PTI also, and we might see the -1 formula being implemented in the PTI. What we are seeing right now is that the trickle of desertions from the PTI is starting to turn into a torrent. Initially there were a few leaders who left, but now we are seeing a spate of these leaders either quit politics altogether, like Shireen Mazari, the former human rights minister, who had nothing to do with human rights incidentally, has quit from politics, and a number of others, Imran cronies, who have said that they are disgruntled and they are very unhappy with what happened on the 9th of May, and that they can no longer, their conscience, as though they have one, no longer allows them to stay in the PTI. So these are people are starting to leave in droves, and the reports coming out of Pakistan suggest that there will be scores of other senior leaders who are going to desert the party. And frankly, if you look at scenes from Imran Khan's house, it seems that the man has been left desolate. He is dejected with what is happening, maybe even suffering from a bit of depression. So clearly that is the direction in which things are moving. There are rumors that his party might be banned. There is also a talk that Imran will be arrested, but I personally think that what is going to happen is that they are going to first strangulate the support which Imran has been getting. They are going to denude him of all support, and when he is left with little other than a few cronies hanging around, people who have no other political future, who are hanging around him, and they have no such fears of the scenes of May 9th repeating themselves, that is when the military will move in for the kill and probably get Imran arrested, jailed, perhaps for a fairly long period of time. Without, I personally, I think what is happening to Imran Khan, he deserves every bit of it. Okay, again, as an Indian, of course, I feel sorry for what is happening to Imran Khan, because frankly, I think, and I've said this before, I think he was darn good for India. He was really good for us, because what he did to Pakistan, I don't think we could have ever managed to do on our own. But I think rather than feel sorry that we have lost an asset in Pakistan, we should take the win and move on, and perhaps wait for somebody else to do something similar to Pakistan in the future, and we can depend upon the Pakistan army to create another Imran Khan. But for now, I think two things are happening as far as Pakistani politics is concerned. One, that there is a lot of jubilation in Imran's opponents at the predicament in which Imran Khan and his party find themselves. And I think that jubilation seems to be outweighing the concerns which these people have about the army coming back in the way it has come back in the politics of Pakistan. So there are many people who are concerned about how things will play out in the future between the army and the civilian politicians who are now in the fray. But I think for now the jubilation outweighs that concern. And the second thing which is happening, or which is pretty much clear, the writing is on the wall, that Imran Khan is out for now. For the foreseeable future, I don't think Imran Khan is going to be a political player in Pakistan, certainly not in the next elections. It just does not happen that you take this kind of an action against a guy only to level the field and give him a chance to come back in the very next election. So I don't think he is in the play for the next election. But does he have a future beyond that? We have seen Pakistani politics come full circle, that the guy who is thrown out and who is written off, for example, Nawaz Sharif was after the coup in 1999, actually makes a comeback a few years down the line. So could something similar happen to Imran? Now my own sense is that as long as Asim Munir is the army chief, which is either until 2025 if he just enjoys a 3-year term, but given the way he is consolidating his control right now, don't rule out a 6-year term for him with another extension, unless of course he takes over power and then all bets are off. He could be there for 9 years or 12 years or whatever. But let us assume that if he is there for the next 6 years or till 2028, then very clearly I don't see any reconciliation taking place between Asim Munir and Imran Khan. So Imran Khan is out till 2028. Now that means that Imran Khan will be a 78, 79-year-old man by that time, and he would have actually received the treatment which is given to dissident or rebellious politicians. So will he be in good health by then, assuming he's still around by then? But if he is, he might just get a look in again. But even that I'm a lot skeptical about, for a very simple reason, that Imran Khan has done to the Pakistan army, divided it, politicized it, something which nobody else has done. And I don't see this being forgiven. As a colleague of mine was saying the other day, that Pakistan army loves to play politicians against each other. But the Pakistan army cannot stand a politician playing the generals against each other. And that is what Imran Khan was doing. So I don't think that there is going to be any forgiveness for that. But again, that's an academic question. Maybe 4 years, 5 years from now, he might get a look in. Maybe 8, 9 years from now, he might get a look in. But for the foreseeable future, I think Imran Khan is history.